4.8 magnitude earthquake. It was felt wide across the state of New Jersey. Happened earlier at 10:23 this morning at a depth of 3 feet. It's considered to be a shallow earthquake, which means it was closer to the surface. The rock here in New Jersey is so old that any kind of earthquake that's above a 2.0 magnitude can be felt so far away from its epicenter because the vibrations can travel farther. And that's why when you saw Jim Murdoch talk about how in the video they felt the shaking first and then Jim felt it because Jim was farther away and the vibrations had to come spread out, just kind of like this, like a wave from that epicenter. Some of the latest data puts it out toward Fox Hill Road near Tewksbury. That's where the epicenter is currently calculated to be centered. And then we had that aftershock, which happened just to the south and east of there, out toward Villetown Road. That was the 2.0 magnitude aftershock at 5 miles deeper, so it's not as shallow as the other one. So this one really wasn't felt at 11:20 this morning. But as you can see, it's all part of the Ramapo Fault system, which is a fault line that runs through New Jersey, separating the hills in the north and west and the coastal plain in the Piedmont down to the south.
Bridgewater, you're watching News 12 New Jersey. Local matters. Your winter road trip is closer than you think, thanks to the Emmy Award-winning News 12 Road Trip Close to Home.
Come take a visit for yourself.
Every Thursday at 7 p.m., News 12 is your guide for finding the best spots in the tri-state area for a fun family trip.
You don't have to be amazing. You can just come and hang out.
Check out the Emmy Award-winning News 12 Road Trip Close to Home, Thursday at 7 p.m., only on News 12. Now streaming on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV.
News 12 New Jersey is brought to you in part by the Valley Hospital. Care like no other is moving to Paramus on April 14th. The Valley Hospital will move from Ridgewood to Paramus, New Jersey.
Bye, Grandma. Bye, Grandpa. And exhale.
Do you think they miss us?
I think they're good, Dad.
Continuing with our breaking news coverage of today's earthquake over in the Hunterdon County area, right around White House Station. Let's get things over to Rutgers professor and geoscientist Lauren Adamo joining us right now. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. Can you share any insight on what we could see now going forward? Because we've already seen the initial quake. We've seen one aftershock that we know of. Do you think we'll see more aftershocks?
So the bottom line is we can't always tell. Earthquake prediction is very difficult and has never been done successfully. You have to look at probabilities of how often, or if it's going to happen. So the best source of data for this is the U.S. Geological Survey website. They have a great website where it has all the information about this particular earthquake, and it includes their predictions of what we might see in terms of aftershocks. So there is a chance, as we saw, one aftershock. So it could continue within days, a week, month, or even longer. So it's sort of a wait and see what happens.
How surprised are you that this happened?
I'm not surprised. My phone has been blowing up since this happened. As a geologist, everyone asking me if this is out of the normal. And the answer is no. There are hundreds of earthquakes that occur every day around the world. They're just small, or they happen in isolated areas where we might not hear about. So it's not surprising that earthquakes happen often. And it's also not surprising that it happened here because there is a well-known and studied fault system in New Jersey. It's not a active tectonic area like we have in California, but it is known to have earthquakes in the past, and it, there is a fault there, so there's the possibility of having earthquakes.
Can you talk about, and this is something that our meteorologist Mike Rizzo has been discussing for the better part of the past couple of hours, the quality and the age of the rock and how that factors in to just how much it's felt here?
Yeah, so north of us, so the northwestern part of New Jersey is mostly what geologists might refer to as hard rock. So these would be rocks like igneous or metamorphic. They're harder as opposed to South Jersey, which has more of the sediments. And when an earthquake happens in a place that's the harder rock, the seismic waves are able to travel through the rock easier and farther, so they don't lose their energy as quickly as if they were traveling through, say, like sands or piles of mud and things like that. So because it happened kind of along where the Appalachian Mountains are, that is like the prime type of rock that allows those seismic waves to travel pretty far and to not lose their energy by the time they reach, places that are farther away.
Speaking generally, what can a 4.8 earthquake do? Can it shake a house off its foundation? Can it cause a crack in the concrete?
So a lot of that depends on what the status of the places, the houses and the buildings are prior to the earthquake. In general, you would not see a lot of building damage. That doesn't mean that it's not possible. If there is an underlying condition to the building, yes, it certainly could cause some damage. But you wouldn't expect a lot of extensive damage with the way that building codes are. But again, not impossible.
Rutgers professor Lauren Adamo, we thank you for joining us live here on News 12 New Jersey.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And right now, we want to continue our team coverage of this breaking news, get things back to Jim Murdoch. He's in Wall Township, right outside our offices there. Jim, have you heard anything new about any damage down in Monmouth, Ocean County areas?
No damage down here in Monmouth and Ocean County areas. However, working down here for so many years, we meet a lot of folks from all over the state. And we do have some new video. Carol Braun, thank you so much for sending this in. Take a look at this video. Now, this is up at 65 Pleasant Hill Road in Randolph, about 25 miles. Thank you, Mike Rizzo, from the epicenter for doing the math on that. And you can see a water main just gushing out of this, what appears to be a back road here. And this is believed to be from the earthquake. Again, it's up in the hill country up there, up in the mountains, and Randolph not too far from the epicenter. But Carol Braun sending us this brand new video of a water main break, the water just gushing about 20 feet in the air right across the road up there. So we are checking on that condition right now. We believe that could be a county water line up there, I believe in Morris or Hunterdon County up there. Again, 25 miles or so from the epicenter. Down here at the Jersey Shore, now we experienced some vibrations and then a sudden jolt, and everything upstairs in the building here in Wall Township shook. So again, we're going to continue to get more information, more videos. You can send them all of our way to the News 12 Facebook and social media pages. But for now, we're going to go back to meteorologist Mike Rizzo, I believe, with more on what took place at 10:24 this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, the important part about this today to note is that we are mostly safe now, but we cannot rule out the opportunity for an aftershock. There's a lot of data loading up behind me here. I promise you it's going to load up. It's just going to take an extra second. But I do want to emphasize to you that these types of earthquakes that occur are not common for New Jersey. They do happen, right? And out of the last several years, the last several centuries, I should say, we've only had 4 earthquakes, including the one that we've had today, above a 4.5 magnitude. They go back to the 1700s, and then there was one in the 1800s. So here's a look at the earthquake details. An earthquake happens when the ground shakes, of course, either because you're on a fault line or it's a border of a tectonic plate. You're either going to have the ground moving together, apart, or side to side. In the case of safety, you do need to reach a sturdy structure, likely stand between a door frame, that's a sturdy structure, or underneath a table. Why am I telling you to do that? You want to protect your head. If anything falls, we don't want your head to get hit. We don't want you to get hurt. So that's why we're saying to get under a table anytime that happens. I was here in the studio. I dove right under the desk here because we have a lot of lights on our ceiling, and you never know how strong these earthquakes can be. The shaking does last a couple of seconds, though, of course, depending on your proximity to the epicenter. Possible damage to shelving, walls, windows, pipes, as you just saw from Jim Murdoch's piece there, showing you the water main break. Make sure your carbon monoxide detectors are working. That's very important as well as you check to make sure that everything is safe. Infrastructure needs to be checked as well, such as roads and bridges nearby. And because it was felt so far away, a lot of people need to do this.